How you doing, friends? I am Joe Craig, host of Reeling and Telling Our Truth, but we added a new caveat with my point of view. Today on the show, as many of you, I'm always talking about education to some degree in some form or fashion. So today I'm gonna keep the ball rolling up in the air. And so I want to talk about the American educational system as I know it. When I first started teaching, I loved teaching because I was given the opportunity to be the best version of me in my area of expertise, which was business education. And I digress for a second. I started out in the private industry before I went to be a teacher. So, with that added volumes of my expertise in learning how to get the business acumens to the kids. I used the key indicators that was presented to me by the state that I was teaching in, and it was up to me to craft my materials to get the best knowledge out of the kids. I made it fun. I made it interesting. I wore a suit every day. I was knocking them down. I was tearing it up. It was good. And the kids enjoyed coming to class. In fact, I still have students many years ago, late 20s. When I see them, they thank me. No, it ain't about me. It's about the process that I instilled in my classroom. But all has changed, in my opinion, in the last 5, 10 years. And it made it fun for me. So I early retired. But let's keep it moving. It ain't always about me. Let's see what the problem is, according to my friend here.
States, we like to pride ourselves on being the best at things. We spend more money than any other nation on our military, healthcare, and education. Unfortunately, simply throwing money at things doesn't make you the best at them. Our military, despite having the budget of the next 10 biggest spenders combined, is tremendously wasteful and is constantly used as a destabilizing force in regions we wish to dominate or exploit. Our healthcare system, despite occupying the world's #1 spot for per capita expenditure, is routinely ranked the worst in the developed world in terms of access, efficiency, and effectiveness. While each of these topics deserves its own video, in this episode we're going to focus on the US education system, why it's failing our students and teachers, and what we can do to fix it. Think back to your time in school. What do you remember? Early mornings, long windowless hallways punctuated by locked doors, a strictly regimented schedule. Your school life was dictated by the authority of the teacher, who conditioned you with countless commands every day. Sit down, open your textbook to page 10, stop talking, line up. You were punished for speaking to classmates, making a joke, or coming in a single minute late. You had to get permission to use the restroom. Class started with a bell and ended with a bell. There's another kind of institution that follows a similar structure. It shouldn't come as a surprise that in the US, many of the same architects who designed our prisons also designed our schools. For many of us, school is an unpleasant memory. Sure, most of us had fun with friends we made in class, but that fun was exclusively outside of school hours. Odds are the memory of your education itself is pretty negative. Besides the experience of attending American school, the outcomes the system produces are also less than stellar. Despite our cultural obsession with getting American students to perform well in standardized testing, our scores fall squarely in the middle of the pack compared to other industrialized nations. This single-mindedness also has a more critical consequence. By demanding our teachers simply prepare students for testing rather than fostering an actually effective learning environment, we end up with students who not only forget everything they crammed into their heads immediately after taking the test, but who also lack the skills required to learn effectively. The students aren't the only ones suffering. The US has exceptionally high teacher turnover due to low pay and long hours, and compounding the problem, a teacher shortage. To sum up the problem, our students are unhappy, perform poorly, and don't gain the critical skills they need. And our teachers are unhappy, overworked, and we don't have enough of them to meet a growing need. A country depends on its young people, those who will grow up and take the reins from the previous generations. So why are we failing them so badly? Before we get into some potential solutions, we need to understand the three main problems plaguing the American education system. These three problems are the system's outdatedness, its underfunding, and its privatization. The lack of funding and the rapid privatization of the education system go hand in hand.
I'm going to stop right there. How many of you know out there that per pupil amounts, the last time I checked, and it's probably went up. Now, check this out, folks. Let's just say you got 3 kids to go to school. That's about $15,000. And that's a low point that your child is contributing to the building and the funds associated with that building. And I guess my question is your son or daughter getting $15,000 a year worth of good education? But that's a whole nother subject in another area. Teacher shortage. Let me hit that for a second. I remember when I was teaching and they was paying me, let's say $55,000. How many jobs that when you get off work, let's say you working from 7 to 3 or 8 to 4, you got to go home and grade papers, put in another 2 or 3 hours every single day, and you don't get paid for it. And you wake up and do that. That's crazy. I figured it out and I quit doing it. But you know what? There's another side of the coin, Finland. Now, I've been seeing this on 60 Minutes for a minute. Finland, Sweden, rather. And I know that Finland only has about 6 million people versus our over 300 million people here in America. But I'm just saying, folks, they got something going on over there. Let's check it out.
10 reasons why Finland's education system is considered as one of the best in the world. Reason number 1. Free education for all. Because education is seen as an equal right for all, Finnish citizens have free access to education, from pre-primary to higher education. That is, no fee is collected from parents and all schools are 100% state-funded. Reason number 2. No standardized testing system. Rather than depending on class examinations and standardized tests, Finnish teachers create their own grading systems for their students. Also, overall progress is mapped by the Ministry of Education by sampling groups of varied ranges of schools.
I'm going to pause right there. That was me back in the day with the suit on and trying to impress and dress, inspire, and motivate. I love it. Let's keep it moving.
Reason number 3. Minimum age for beginning elementary school is 7. Instead of spending too much time in school, Finnish children get to enjoy their childhood and begin their education with their family.
Uh-oh, let's stop right there. Say, what? They don't go to school till they 7? That would not sit right with a lot of American families. In my opinion, they want them kids out the house as soon as they can walk. You going pre somewhere, you getting out of here. But they say they spend family time and don't go to school to 7. Boy, that wouldn't work in America. That was not being negative, but that would drive some parents crazy.
Reason number 4. Teachers face a higher standard. Only master's degree holders, from specialized teaching schools, are eligible for teaching jobs. The graduates from the top 10 percentile can only apply to become a teacher in Finland. Reason number 5. Focuses on fostering cooperation over competition. Teachers in Finland emphasize cooperation over competitiveness in schools by instilling in pupils the qualities of teamwork, collaboration, and team spirit. Reason number 6. High status of teachers in society. Teachers are considered equivalent in status to doctors and lawyers in Finland. It's easier to become a doctor or lawyer than a teacher.
Damn, that's tough. But you know what? That is a great point because I know a lot of teachers who have their master's degrees. I got my master's degree. I know some teachers who got their PhDs. And I think in any other profession, if you got that master's degree or that PhD, that stipulates, in my opinion, that you got some brains and you got some woo-woo, you got some mojo, and you can do it. Now, any other career field, because like I said, I wasn't always in teaching. When I was working at HR in a factory, my knowledge was key. And I got to be the best version of me. I didn't have somebody coming in and telling me I got to do it how they got to say do it, how to do it how they say do it, based on, as they said earlier, test scores. You can test, but can you progress in the real world? Let me keep it moving. I'm loving this.
Reason number 7. No competitions between Finnish schools. Exemption from the artificial parameters of academic progress by eliminating any form of competition between academic institutions and instead making collaboration the norm. Reason number 8. Emphasis on foundational basics. Students are given the time and space they need to create the greatest foundation and basics at their own speed. Mixed ability courses are used in Finnish schools to foster a variety of interests and hobbies. Reason number 9. There are only 9 years of compulsory schooling. In Finland, there are only 9 years of obligatory schooling, after which students are encouraged to figure out what is best for them academically and
I like what they said in the end. Only 9 years of you got to go to school. And the rest of that time, you're spending trying to figure out whether you want to be in a trade, whether you want to continue on with your academic education. I love that because it's giving the kids the opportunity to be themselves and who they are, not grow up cookie cutter, can't read when they get out of high school, can't add, can't think, can't critical think, don't know the who, what, when, where, and why, and how. I wish that we in America could adopt a new strategy for these children because we're failing them, in my opinion. I hope you got something out of these videos, make your brain thought. Sorry about the color keep going in and out. That's just the way the sun is today. I am Joe Craig, host of Reeling and Telling the Truth, where you can catch me at Reeling and Telling the Truth on Facebook and or YouTube at Reeling and Telling the Truth. You can also email me at thejoecraigshow@gmail.com. Be blessed and know I'm not changing colors. That's the sun. And like the sun says, keep shining. I'm Joe Craig, out.